everyone. My name is Annie Fortnow. I'm the engagement manager here at JumpSpark, and I'm really excited to be joined today by Alyssa Ronig here from USY. We are kicking off a series of videos to share about different summer programs that are available to Atlanta Jewish teens, whether it's going to Israel or doing a trip outside the country or even doing a domestic trip. So we're really excited to hear from Alyssa today. She's the USY recruitment manager, and she will share with us all about the summer programs available through USY.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a ton of different trips available to teens in grades 7 through 12 from across North America. So teens from Atlanta will be joined by kids from all over. We have trips in North America and then in Israel and Europe. So I'll start with North America and then we'll keep going. So our trip for our youngest teens is USY on Wheels East. It's for current 7th and 8th graders, and it's 4 weeks across the East Coast. So the teens start and end in New Jersey. They'll travel as far north as Toronto and as far south as Orlando, and then like everywhere in between. And on all of our trips across the United States, across North America, they're mainly staying in hotels, and then sometimes we'll partner with local synagogues and do home hospitality with congregants hosting different teens for like a night or two. So that's USY Wheels East. I'll just give like a quick overview of like what the programs are, and then we can go like more in depth. But USY Wheels Classic is our like big trip. It's 6.5 weeks all across the country. They start and end in New Jersey, and then they kind of do like a loop around the whole United States. They'll go as far west as California and then back down and around. That's for current 9th through 11th graders, and it's really, really incredible. It's like my favorite thing that we offer. It's like definitely our most unique trip. And then we also have USY Wheels Pacific Northwest, and that's for kids in grades 8 through 11. And it's 3 weeks in the Pacific Northwest. It starts and ends in Seattle, and it's visiting like a ton of different national parks. So Crater Lake, Yellowstone, the Grand Tetons, Banff in Canada, Glacier National Park, and also going to Seattle, Vancouver, and seeing like really, really beautiful parts of North America, which is awesome. And then we have 2 other trips that aren't really travel trips, but they're trips to different places. So one of our programs is called Dream USY. It's 10 days in the Dominican Republic, and the kids are volunteering with a partner organization called the Dream Project in Sosua, and they're volunteering at a local children's camp, putting on games and playing sports with them and doing different activities, teaching them English, but they're also doing different community service projects. So like last year, they built a volleyball court for the camp. They've done other projects like beautification projects. They partner with the local Jewish community, which is very tiny. They make the minyan every time they go, which is great. But a few years ago, and I think last year, they cleaned the tombstones of the Jewish cemetery, which was like very meaningful. And then they also get to like explore the Caribbean, which is awesome. They go to the beach and they go paddleboarding and all these fun little activities. And then it's like very new. We haven't even really talked about it so much yet, but we have a 2-week trip to Portland called Tivnu, which is with, or Tivnu USY, which is with Tivnu, which is an organization based in Portland that does a gap year program, but they're doing a 2-week program with us. Both of these programs are for 9th through 12th graders, and they'll be doing community service in Portland, building homes, and also getting to like explore Portland, which is a great city if you've never been. So those are all of our trips on this side of the world. And then in Israel, we offer a few different programs. So Israel Adventure is our 4-week trip to Israel. All of our trips to Israel are for current 10th through 12th graders, so even graduating seniors, if they want one last fun Jewish immersive experience before they go off to college or whatever their next step is, they can go to Israel with us. And then we have another 4-week trip that's called L'Tekin Olam, which is a community service-based trip in Israel. So they're traveling around a little bit less than the other programs. They're still doing the fun touring and whatnot, but they're getting to volunteer places for multiple days at a time. So they're actually making like an impact. They're seeing the impact that they're making on the community, and they're making connections, which is really wonderful. And then we offer trips to Israel or Europe before they go to Israel. So Poland, Israel Pilgrimage Poland Seminar is 1 week in Poland, followed by 4 weeks in Israel, learning about the Holocaust and Eastern European Jewry. And then we have Eastern Europe Israel Pilgrimage, which is Prague, Berlin, and Poland, followed by 4 weeks in Israel. So those are all of our programs.
Wow.
It's a lot.
Wow. So many options.
We'll do a test later. Yeah. So.
Wow, that's really incredible to hear about all of those different programs and everything that you're offering. I'm curious, like, for the different programs, like, where do people usually come from? Like, for your Northwest trip, is it mainly people who live on the West Coast? For your East Coast trip, is it mainly people who live on the East Coast, or, like, do people really bounce around?
So we definitely, I would not say we're more like West Coast heavy on any programs. We tend to bring in a lot of kids from the East Coast just generally, but a lot of our kids on the East Coast are like, I've never been to the West Coast, so like this is something that interests me. But the kids come from all across North America, so kids from United States and Canada. Sometimes we'll even have some Israelis join us because they have family in the States or they found us somewhere else. But they come from all over, so it's really cool. The kids get to meet friends from all over the place. So like when I went on the program, like my best friends came from Cleveland, and I was from Florida. So like you meet kids from all over the place, and it's like really wonderful to grow this community beyond your time on the bus. You have all these friends all across the country as you grow up, and wonderful.
Yeah. That's amazing. And for all your trips, are they 9th through 12th grade, or how old do you have to be?
So the age ranges differ. The wheels trips generally run a little bit younger. So East is for middle schoolers, current 7th and 8th graders, and then we have 9th through 11th graders on the classic program. And we try to mix the grades up as equally as possible. Our classic program is the only program that'll have multiple buses. So everything else is just like one group per program, but we try to make sure that the grades are like all evened out on the buses, and also that like one bus isn't full of all the kids from Atlanta, like that they're meeting kids from all over the place.
Oh, that's really great.
Yeah.
Cool. How much do these programs cost, or where can I find that information?
So all of the information about cost is on our website. If you just go to usy.org/summer, and you'll find dates, you'll find prices, you can find sample itineraries that are based on the previous years. And we also work very hard to make sure that money does not become a barrier for our teens in these programs. So if there is a need for a scholarship, we're happy to work with you to find scholarships in your community. We also offer need-based scholarship, and we just don't want money to be the reason that a kid misses out on these programs.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm also curious, so you mentioned some of the trips are really community service based, and I know that all your trips have that aspect.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit more about that and what it looks like maybe on some of the USY on Wheels trips?
Yeah.
Great.
So one of the really cool things about our trip is that we offer all these different community service opportunities. So even if you're not choosing a trip like Le Tekin Olam or Dream USY that's like based in community service, you're still going to get some aspect of volunteering on the program. And on Wheels, it's really special because you might travel to like San Francisco or Los Angeles or Chicago with your family, but you're not necessarily doing these community service programs and volunteer programs. So in the past, we've done different things like volunteered at the AIDS Walk in San Francisco, and the USY served as like route marshals, which was awesome. We volunteered with Urban Voices in Los Angeles, which is a choir project for the homeless community in Los Angeles. We'll do different service learning programs. So this past year when I visited a bus, they went to this organization called No Limits, which helps children that have hearing loss, and helps them to put on different plays, because that's not something that they might not have the opportunity to do otherwise. Other things that they've done in the past, we volunteered with Operation Gratitude, which puts together care packages for families in the armed services. All different things all across the country, which is really, really incredible. And it's a very meaningful way to travel across the country. So you'll get to do all the fun touristy things, but also some more meaningful things as well.
Yeah, that sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the accommodations on the trip? Like, where do people stay and what is that like?
So most of the time they're staying in hotels, and there'll be 4 kids to a room or 3 kids depending on the breakdown. But then sometimes we partner with local synagogues in the community who will host like no less than 3 kids, but as many as they can. And it's like a cool way also to learn about the Jewish communities in these different places across North America, which is awesome. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
And how do people travel? Like, do you have a bus, or like what does that look like?
So all of our trips travel on coach buses, and they're like big new buses, fully air conditioned. They have like outlets and DVD players, and they're very nice, and they become the kids' home over the summer. So you'll ask the kids like where their favorite place was over the summer, and they'll say, actually, it was the bus, because we loved hanging out with our friends and like really making these connections on the bus, because it really becomes their home, which is super cute.
So awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
I really care about like food when I'm traveling and like what I'm eating. What does that usually look like? Like, are meals provided? And are there kosher options available?
So all of our meals are provided. Our dinners are provided by kosher caterers from across the country, or they're shipped to us by kosher caterers. And then breakfast and lunch the kids will make for themselves, or if we're at a hotel where they'll have free breakfast, the kids are welcome to do that, so long as they're choosing the kosher options. Yeah, and the kids actually will get a chance. There's part of the program is the kids will get to be on different committees that oversee different things over the summer. So you might be on the breakfast committee, so you'll get to say like, well, I really think we should have like a parfait bar for breakfast. So the kids will like make that happen, and they'll go shopping every Friday before Shabbat for food for the week, and they'll really get to make it their own, which is really, it's a really great way for the kids to learn independence and grow a little. Yeah.
That's awesome. I really like that, like incorporating tea here.
Absolutely. It's a huge part of the program.
You mentioned Shabbat. That's really awesome. Is Shabbat like a really special time of the program, and what does that usually look like?
Very special, and especially since the whole rest of the week is like moving nonstop. Like you're usually in a city for no longer than one night, so like it's really nonstop movement. So Shabbat is a great time for everyone to kind of just relax a little, and then they'll put on Shabbat-friendly activities. The staff will lead learning sessions with the kids. The kids will lead their own services. And this is another place where they'll get to incorporate different things if they want to take ownership over something and say, like, we should do a creative service in this way. They assign all of the different kids to lead all the different parts of the services, and they'll be at the hotel for the whole weekend, or for all Shabbat. They might hang out at the pool, they might play games, whatever. It's like a really nice way to just relax, while the rest of the week is like a little bit crazy, but fun.
Yeah. That's amazing, and really like helps to know that connection with Shabbat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. As a parent, I might be like really concerned about safety for the teens on the trip. Can you talk a little bit about what you do to ensure that it's a really safe trip for all
Absolutely. So first we'll talk about our Israel programs. We have an office in Jerusalem year-round, and we work with Israel Experience to make sure that we're getting all of the updates that we need and that our security is intact. They'll have guards with them when they need them, and security is a top priority for us, especially now in this like crazy time in the world. And then on the program, on USY on Wheels, the kids are always in contact with their staff, even if they're having free time somewhere. They're never in groups smaller than 3. Usually they're in groups larger than 3 people. They'll always be in touch with the group leader to tell them where they need to be. They always have certain parameters that if they have free time, they're only allowed to go in a certain place, so the staff can like see where they are. And if there's a place where we need to figure out security protocol, like where would the exit be if we needed to all exit, where do we need to meet if there's an emergency, that information is always shared with the teams. So yeah.
Okay, that's really great. And I want to end with like a fun question, like what's something that you wish you had known like before going on a USY trip?
Ooh, interesting. Well, I think when I went on the trip, I was in a lot of our kids come on the trip not knowing anyone. Which is the like number one question I get from parents. Like, I'm sending my kid on this trip, but they don't know anyone. Are they going to be okay? So I think that's indicative of the fact that they will be okay, because like kids are coming on the trip to meet new people. But of course, it's like a little nerve-wracking at first. I came on my trip knowing a ton of people, and I wish I had known going into it that like it's okay to branch out and it's okay to like not hang out with your friends that you may have come on the trip with, or if you're coming by yourself, it's okay. Like, you're all coming to form this new community, and like every single person is an important part of that community, and without one person it would be totally different. So I think that's something that I would want to know. The second thing is I would want to know how to do laundry beforehand because the kids do laundry and I did not know how to do that, and I paid for way too long to wash mine the first time. And then once I learned how to do laundry on wheels, my mom was like, "You're never going back. You're doing your own laundry for the rest of your life," which is great now.
Yeah.
Whatever, but
like good prep for college.
For sure. Yeah.
I'm like ready to sign up. Can you remind me where I can go to learn more information and register?
USY.org/summer. And if anyone wants to email me, you can reach me at Ronik, R-O-N-I-K, my last name is there, at uscj.org.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And if you would like to learn about more summer programs that are being offered to Atlanta Jewish teens, please go to our website, jumpsparkatl.org, sign up for our email list, check out all of the upcoming exciting programs for teens. And thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good day.